What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Manbitesfilm, episode 65. As always, I'm your host, Brandon. We're four away from the coveted 69. God, I'm such a child.
Sophomoric. Instead of mediocre.
That is, of course, my cousin Gecko Lewis.
Woohoo! Gecko again. All right.
It is
3 episodes.
Woo! It is just him and I. William, of course, is on his vacation on the other side of the world right now. He will be joining us in 2 weeks, right?
No, next week. He'll be with us next week.
Oh, really? I thought he was gone for 2 weeks.
Yeah, he is. We're recording this the week that we normally would drop, but this week we're actually dropping MegaCon, and then next week we're going to be dropping this episode.
Oh, okay. The wonders of the internet, baby.
Yeah.
So for us, it's 2 weeks, but for you people listening, it's a week.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you're joining us for the first time or the 65th time, we are a weekly movie podcast where we talk about movie news. We review one movie altogether, and then we review our individual movies. So today's show is going to be a little bit different, of course, because William is not with us.
He's not doing his segment.
Yeah, we're not doing his segment, of course, and since there's one less review in the individual reviews, the show's going to be a little bit shorter. So, Lewis, take it away with the movie news.
So, there is some fantastic news this week that has recently occurred, and this is something that's been in production hell, pre-production hell for like the last 13, 14 years. It's that bad already. This, of course, is Sandman, the TV series.
Yeah, I heard about this.
It has officially gotten the green light by Netflix. So, and Neil Gaiman is adamant about making sure that his books are translated correctly. That's why it's been in pre-production hell, because he is not only an executive producer, but he's also involved directly with the story, everything. He's not technically writing the script, but he is advising on the script, and he is a major player in the show itself. So that's the reason why it hasn't been able to take off the way that he wants, because he hasn't found somebody good enough to do this, and apparently now he has. So I'm really, really intrigued to see where they're gonna go with this.
Cool. Don't hate me. I've actually never read Sandman. I know it's like a sin, for comic lovers out there and shit like that. But
dude, I'm not a comic book reader, and that series is freaking great.
Oh, it's like Watchmen. It's like one of those like stories that everyone should read at one point if they enjoy comics, or not even if you enjoy comics, if you enjoy storytelling.
Yeah, honestly, it really
never
is.
Gotten around to it, honestly. Maybe one day. Maybe soon.
Yeah, maybe when the series comes out.
Yeah, maybe the series coming out revitalizes me, and I'm like, all right, cool. Maybe it's time to read Sandman.
Yes. And there's going to be a special surprise for everybody if you're a fan of Neil Gaiman later on in the episode. So yes, the next movie news, the Flash movie has officially announced its director and writer.
Mm-hmm. I was going to bring this up if you didn't bring it up, but yeah.
It's Andy Muschietti.
Muschietti, I'm assuming? Yeah.
Muschietti?
Yeah.
The director of It, if for anybody else out there.
Yes.
He is going to be doing the directing, and then the writer for Bumblebee, which I don't know about you, but I really enjoyed that. That is probably the best of the Transformers.
So Transformers has left such a bad taste in my mouth that I haven't watched a Transformers movie since the third one, let alone I don't even think I saw the third one in theaters. I think I saw it like my brother bought it or rented it on DVD. But I've heard that Bumblebee is it's like a fresh take. It leans more towards like the actual series, the cartoon series.
Dude, they look just like it. It's
like
fucking great.
Yeah. So I just never got around to seeing it, I guess. But maybe I will catch it, like I'll rent it or something or watch it somewhere.
I have it on my Vudu account, so you could check it out on there.
Oh, perfect. Then I'll check it out there, because like I love Transformers. Just man, the movie, they're so bad, dude.
Everybody hates on the Transformers movies like they do the Twilight series, but it's like, dude, they're not that bad.
Okay.
Yes, they're not the greatest movies. It's Michael Bay. Just expect big explosions and action.
True.
That's it. Turn your brain off and go watch the movie for loud effects and
you're right.
Craziness.
Look, I completely disconnected from Transformers in the second one, in Revenge of the Fallen, when
with the balls.
The balls is one of them. When Devastator comes out, which in the TV series, you're like, yo, Devastator is super fucking cool, and then he shows up, and it's like, let's make a joke that he has balls. Like, what? Yeah. Second, I remember in the beginning of Revenge of the Fallen, isn't there like a chase sequence in Shanghai or something like that?
Yeah.
And everything just starts exploding. And I'm like, why is everything exploding? There shouldn't be. I'm like, well, there's nothing to explode. It was, I was like, I'm done with this shit.
I used the scene in the desert in number 2.
Yes.
That scene where the bomber bombs everything. Mm-hmm. I used that to equalize my surround sound because it sounds awesome. It's just so good. That anytime I set up my surround sound system for the first time in a new place that I'm living, I use that movie to play that one scene, not the whole film, just that one sequence. Just okay, that sounds good. I'm good. Let's do this. So, anyways, moving on. Next bit of news that's really cool. I don't know about you, but I already have a movie pass that is for AMC. And now Regal is doing their own version of Movie Pass, or the A-list. So I personally enjoy Regal Cinemas better than AMC.
I do too.
They're better sound quality, better video, everything. Like the quality is just so much better.
Yeah.
So they're coming out with their own thing, and I thought that was really cool, and I'm excited for it because
I'm so sick of all these companies doing this shit, dude.
Hey, it helps me. It helps my bottom line, dude. That's all I care about.
It's like everything, man. Everything in their fucking mother now, like, has some sort of service. It's like, you want TV? Well, everybody has a streaming service. Oh, you like video games? Everybody has a streaming service now. You like movies? Everybody has a paid service now. It's such horseshit. I can't, dude. Like, it's
the wave of the future.
I guess. It's a wave where we all go poor.
Yeah, pretty much. So, other interesting things, not technically movie directly related, but they're involved in the films that we all love and enjoy. Spider-Man Far From Home, the cast went to visit Children's Hospital in Los Angeles.
I saw that, and they were dressed. Jake Gyllenhaal was dressed as Mysterio, and Tom Holland, of course, was dressed as Spider-Man.
And they went out and just greeted all the kids, the teenagers, all that stuff that were staying in the hospital that day. Yeah. This is one of the few reasons I pay a lot of respect to Marvel and Disney in general, is because of things like this. These acts of kindness that they do for the community.
Can you imagine being a child in a hospital where you have cancer or something, you're extremely sick, and and you're like a fan of comic books, and you like superheroes, whatever, and Spider-Man shows up?
The actual actor
that plays Spider-Man in a suit that is like leaps and bounds above anything that you'll find at like a Walmart or anything like that. Like, dude, I'd lose my mind.
Yeah.
I'd be like, this is so cool.
Yeah.
Like, it's incredible. Like,
it really is. And that shows you like the true heart of where films and studios should be. It should be about reaching out to the community and establishing the community. Yes, it was a PR stunt. Yes, but it's a good PR stunt. These are the type of PR stunts that should be going on. Not the bullshit, hardcore, like crazy stuff that's going on. Do something like this that's actually going to give back to the community and build your fan base further. Not that they even needed it, honestly.
I've heard Tom Holland is a really nice guy. Like, nice kid.
I've met him in, like, just autograph line type of thing. Yeah. And he's such a sweetheart, dude. Yeah. Such a sweetheart.
Yeah, he seems like a really nice guy.
He really
I don't know Jake Gyllenhaal. I'm assuming, maybe, I'm not going to say anything because I don't know, but...
And speaking of that aforementioned series that we were talking about, Twilight and Hunger Games opened up attractions at the Lionsgate China theme park.
There's a Lionsgate, like an actual, like the country China?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that they have like their own theme park.
They have their own theme park.
Interesting. Didn't know that.
Yeah, and it has Hunger Games and Twilight as their main attraction.
So wait, Hunger Games, what is this? Like you get into an arena and you kill their patrons of the
I don't know,
of the theme park?
China, so yeah, I wouldn't doubt it.
That's kind of crazy. That's funny.
Good way to control the population.
Actually, fun fact. I saw a video once on YouTube, and I think it was the Shanghai Magic, not Magic Kingdom.
Oh, they're completely different.
Dude, their rides are so cool compared to ours, dude.
Yeah, the Tokyo one. The Tokyo one is fucking crazy.
It was definitely an Asian country. I think it was either China.
Probably Tokyo.
It was either China or Japan. But like, dude, I was like, what? Like the Pirates of the Caribbean ride is completely different. It looks fucking badass. Like everything about the theme park. I was like, man.
Well, remember also, dude, like the theme park here in Florida. Because mind you guys, we're all here. We both live in Florida. Brandon lives in Miami. I live in Orlando.
Yeah.
So those parks were built in the 80s, 70s and 80s.
I think it was 7. Let's actually find out.
Most of the attractions were built in the 70s and 80s for most of those parks, or recent. So they're old. They're not new attractions.
So Magic Kingdom was opened to the public on October 1st, 1971.
There you go, 70s.
Yeah.
70s and 80s, they built out the big part of their...
You could definitely tell that some of those attractions are old.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And that's the thing, though. It's like, all right, so these are old attractions. When you get a new theme park that you could start from scratch, like they did in Tokyo, they could build off of new technologies. They could build off the errors that they built in the other parks. So, it's always going to be better. That's the same thing with, I think, Paris is the other Disney. Yeah. That I've heard it's the same thing. It's fucking gorgeous.
Yeah.
But, it's you build off the rides. And me, personally, I hate Disney. Like, I hate Disney parks.
Why? Oh, my God. What the hell was that?
I don't know.
Is everything okay?
Yeah.
Jesus. If I could hear that, that must have been loud as shit. It sounded like marbles, actually.
It was a fence thing that we had.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
But anyways, yeah, the parks, like, I can't stand the tourist. I really can't.
I know, but like, it's something that you kind of like, you take in stride, like.
Oh, you can't though. That's the problem. Is there's so many of them, and they're so annoying because they come from other countries. So and I get it because I've been to other countries, so I don't know the language in, and it's kind of you're like because you don't know how to speak, you don't know how to act, you don't know the mannerisms, the culture, or anything. So I get that they don't know our culture, but for the people that are here and are of this culture, it's annoying. So it's nothing that they're doing on purpose to piss me off. It's just their culture clashing with mine.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it annoys me. That and I don't like people that much.
I don't like people either, but there's something magical about Disney, man.
Eh.
I don't go a lot. Like, I went with my girlfriend. She surprised me in March. And that was the first time I'd gone to Disney in, I think, like, probably, like, 6 years.
That's the other thing. When I moved here to Orlando, we were going like once every 3 months.
That's probably why you kind of burned yourself out.
I never liked the Disney that much. I always liked Universal better.
Gotcha.
So yeah, Universal Studios for me is a way better rides, way better world building, everything for me at least. And plus, they have Halloween Horror Nights. Come on, yeah. What do we have at Disney? Fucking non-spooky Disney.
No, what is it?
Not so scary Mickey or something like that.
Yeah, not so scary Mickey's Halloween or some shit like that.
Yeah, I don't know, some bullshit like that. but yeah, like I have people that, and the funny thing is that I have so many friends that they love Disney so much. So I always end up going to Disney or what do you call it? Downtown Disney.
Epcot is amazing though. God, I love
it. It is.
Epcot.
Yeah, I'll give you that. That's a good one.
Epcot is incredible, dude. Epcot, but I feel like Epcot is more of like an adult's theme park than a child's.
Oh yeah, it is. That's why they have the food and wine
Yeah,
festival and all that
the
stuff.
food and wine festival. Yeah,
So yeah, that's freaking beautiful. It's
I love
gorgeous.
how we went from a movie podcast to just talking about Disney and Epcot and all that stuff.
Yeah. So moving on, that
Yeah.
is the last of the movie news. So
Okay. I came across this article on IGN saying that Russell Crowe actually turned down the role of Aragorn after a call with Peter Jackson. I don't know if you heard about that.
Yeah. So glad, because let me tell you, I can't imagine Russell Crowe playing that role. Ugh.
Yeah. And the other thing, this is not really movie news, but I guess it has to deal with a show on TV right now, and that is that unexpectedly, the Walking Dead comic book is ending tomorrow.
Really?
Yeah, like
unexpected. So it's not
out of fucking nowhere. Like Robert Kirkman, the creator of The Walking Dead, was like, "Yeah, tomorrow's the final issue of The Walking Dead,"
and it's like just shy of 200.
193.
Yeah, it's just shy of 200. So why not go for that 200?
Because
and say that you did 200.
I don't know. You could take this as a grain of salt. Maybe Image Comics, which is the publisher of The Walking Dead, told him maybe it wasn't doing well and they like canceled it. But he said in an interview that he actually ended it how he wanted to end it.
Okay.
And he's glad that it didn't kind of overstay its welcome, where it just kept dragging on, and then he loses like the drive to write the Walking Dead. So yeah,
That's
tomorrow there's going to be a 70-something page issue, or final issue of The Walking Dead. I'm curious because I haven't read The Walking Dead in a while, but like the comics is like so much shit has happened that I'm like, I wonder how they're going to end this.
I probably won't recognize half the characters in there.
Yeah, no. Like in the comics, it's even worse than the show.
That's what I've heard.
In the comics, I think the only people that are alive are actually
Rick, right?
Spoilers. So spoilers. I'm gonna say something in case. Or do you care, Lewis? Because I don't want to say it.
I don't care.
Okay, spoilers for anybody that does not want to know who is alive in The Walking Dead right now in the comics. Skip like 30 seconds from now just to be safe. So 3, 2, 1, skip. The only two that I know that are alive are Michonne and Carl.
Really?
Rick died like a couple issues ago.
Huh.
Yeah, he killed him off in the comics. So yeah.
So just a couple.
Yeah, like literally a couple issues ago, he got shot, and then the next issue, dead.
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
he was wrapping up already. So
yeah, I guess he was already like in the. It's what I find odd is that out of nowhere, like there was no like, hey, 3 issues left of The Walking Dead. It was like no, like it came out of nowhere. Where I was like reading on like IGN, and they were like, oh, by the looks of it, tomorrow's the final issue of The Walking Dead. I'm like, what?
Yeah, so it's probably a publicity stunt to get the book to sell better.
Yeah, and
because
I don't know.
If they make it such a big deal, then it's usually a PR campaign that they're trying to do to push the book.
Yeah, so maybe, I don't know what that has to do with the show, if the show is ending. I know that the show is getting 3 movies that are going to detail what happened to Rick, which is fucking ridiculous. And I've heard the Fear the Walking Dead is much better, but I haven't seen it since like the first season.
Yeah, I don't know either. But so, that's all I had for the movie news
right.
today.
So stay tuned after this quick break when we come at you live with the main review of our show, which is Nintendoquest.
Woohoo!
An actual video game thing. No, I'm kidding.
Hey, you lovely nerds. This is Nisha M., your geek mom from Diversely Geek. Diversely Geek is a global non-profit that promotes self-acceptance by highlighting the positive message of fandom. We're all fans of something that has affected us for the better. We like to express that love by embracing our inner geeks with you all on our podcast Diversely Geek Discusses. We also have a podcast for any Whovians out there called Doctor Who in Review. We often partner with Manbitesmedia, so you're bound to come across us sooner or later. You can find us all on our podcast platforms as Diversely Geek Discusses and on social media platforms as Diversely Geek. You can also subscribe on our website, diverselygeek.org, where you can find our podcasts, videos, original content, articles, and so much more. And remember, there's some good in this world, Mr. Aslan.
All right, guys, welcome back for the main segment of our show, the main review live, which is Nintendoquest.
Live.
So, Lewis got me by surprise because you originally said to watch another documentary.
Yes.
Which we might be doing later, I'm assuming.
It'll probably be later on. I want to have William on with this one.
Okay.
That documentary is just a pure comedy, but I found this one and I was like, video games. Yes, we got to do this. Let's do this. This is a better movie to talk about. And I think you'll be very pleasantly surprised with this film, I think.
So, Nintendoquest is basically a documentary where this man by the name of Robert Iger basically challenges his friend. Robert McCallum challenges his friend, who's the executive producer. He challenges his friend Jay that if he can obtain all 678 NES games in the matter of 30 days with his own money.
Not just NES. It has to be the North American release.
Yeah, they have to be officially licensed Nintendo games from North America. So they can't be from PAL, which is European, and of course it can't be the Famicom games from Japan.
And also there's like some in there that are not like legal or whatever. They're not official.
Yeah. So these are only officially licensed, because there's a bunch of non-licensed Nintendo games, like NES games that you can find.
Yeah.
So he has to buy these with his own money. No one can help him.
Yep.
The problem is that a lot of the NES library is cheap, but then you come across these specific games like what was it? I forgot the name of it. The one that's super expensive.
It's the Stadium
games. That game, Complete. So when a person mentions Complete, that means that it comes in the box with the manual and all that, and the cart, of course. That is like $77,000.
Yeah, Stadium Events is the name of the game.
Stadium Events, sorry. It's not Stadium Games. Stadium Events. I'm going to get like fucking shit for that. Which I've actually heard of that game before.
I've never heard of half the things that he was bringing up. I was like, huh?
So, funny enough, they never talk about it in this movie, but okay. At one point in the movie, they talk about a game called the Nintendo Championship.
Yes.
Okay. There's great carts of it. So Nintendo Championship was an actual event that Nintendo held after the release of a movie called The Wizard.
The Wiz.
Was it The Wiz or The Wizard?
The Wiz. It was The Wiz and
no, it's
not The Wizard.
No, it's not The Wiz.
Or was it called Wizard? Because it's not The Wizard.
Yeah, it's called The Wizard.
Is it?
Yeah, it's the one with Fred Savage. It's from... Basically, The Wizard was a movie that stars Fred Savage, and it's basically a 90-minute fucking like ad for Nintendo. Basically.
Yeah, basically.
That's what the movie is. So after this movie came out, Nintendo decided to hold an event where 10 kids would challenge each other at like little pieces of games like Mario and whatnot. And at the end, there would be a winner, and they would be crowned the Nintendo champion or whatever, right? So they gave all 10 kids that went to that event a gray cartridge that said Nintendo Championship on it, right? But if you won, you got a gold one. There's only, if I remember correctly, there's only 2 or 3 in existence.
Really?
That I've heard is like a couple, like over $100,000.
Wow.
Yeah. But I understand why they wouldn't call that a licensed game, because it's not a game that everyone can get. So
exactly.
That's
And then
understandable.
the other one that's like super prestigious is called Samson.
Yeah, Samson.
Those so basically it comes down to Little Samson and
Events.
stadium events. Both of those, he wants to get at least one of those. That's his quest because he knows that getting both of those is going to be extremely hard under the budget that he has. But
Yeah.
this chronicles the whole adventure that he goes on, which is not technically 30 days, it's more like 20 days because he has to go back to work for a whole week.
Yeah, this is not like a guy that has like stopped his entire life for this, which I'm not.
Which I appreciate that.
I appreciate, but at the same time, I'm like, bro, you're not gonna give him some extra time? Like, are you kidding me? Like, the man has.
I thought that too. I was like, you
I'm like,
could have
come on,
just
bro.
said those 7 days don't count.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Then,
like, come on, bro. Because at the end, he like completely, and he's lucky. So to give you guys like a little bit of like of an insight into like video game collecting in Miami specifically, where I live, it's hot garbage.
Yeah.
It's
you find like the common games. That's
no,
it.
it's not even that. It's that they just gyp the shit out of you.
Oh yeah, yeah.
There's no like, dude. It was so nice to see him go around the country and just find these places where the guys were like were okay with like negotiating prices and they were really nice. Like most people, they'll just gyp the shit out of you.
And I think a lot of that. So. That's where I think the BS comes in this documentary.
Okay.
Because I think a lot of that played into the fact that basically they were getting a free ad in the movie. So I think a lot of the prices and the discounts that he got wasn't because he was haggling, was because he was saying, "Oh, I could include a spot of your storefront and your name and say, oh, I got great prices."
Very true.
So I think that's where it kind of, it plays its part.
My biggest gripe with there's one, excuse me, one scene in particular in the documentary that I felt had no place being in the documentary whatsoever, and that was when he talks about his dad.
It kind of sets the motivation for why he would do this campaign.
I guess. But at the same time, I'm like, wow, that's such a change of pace.
I thought it was good, though. It gave a little bit of insight. It gave a human connection to him in general.
I guess, yeah.
And I think that was good. I appreciate that in a film. Now, this documentary is not the greatest documentary. It's not the most, what do you call it? Open access or anything like that. It's very just a chill documentary to watch on a night that you don't want to watch anything serious. You don't want to watch anything heavy. You want to watch something that's just relaxed. You could eat a meal watching it. You could enjoy the music, enjoy the random comments that he says, and just have fun with it.
I just wish that maybe the documentary might have been a little bit more informative about the games or whatever.
I thought he did a good job. And
with specific games he does, like with Samson and stadium events, because those are basically like the highlight of the entire documentary. Because
imagine if you're going to go into 670.
No, I'm not saying to go into 600 and something odd games, but maybe give us a bit more information about some other games or whatever. But
I thought he did a good job of that. And mind you, this is a person that I don't play video games, so it's like
yeah.
It's rare for me to know anything about the video games, and then I thought he gave a lot of information about the games, honestly. And I personally appreciate the way that he collects video games because I'm the exact same way with movies. I like having my physical copy. Yes, you could have digital copies here and there, just like he says in the movie, the digital copies are taking over and we're losing everything about physical copies. One of the reasons I was so hesitant about changing over from VHS to digital in the first place was the box art. The box art for movies back in the day, especially on VHS, are freaking amazing. Especially like horror movies and stuff like that. I love it. That's some of the best part. Some of my best memories were going to Blockbuster and looking through the box art and just seeing this awesome box art that was hand drawn most of the time. It's just
there's some fucking amazing like NES box art, dude, like amazing. And then there's some which they bring up in the movie,
like Mega Man.
Yeah, the Mega Man is specifically the American Mega Man box art for like 1 and 2 is hot garbage. Yeah. It's so bad looking, dude. Like, it's incredible how he talks about that they didn't even know what they were showing him. They didn't know what the game was about. They were just like, put a gun in his hand. Like, no one knew that Mega Man had a cannon for an arm. Like, it's just incredible. But it's a cool documentary. Another thing that I found kind of weird is like how emotional. I guess I understand in the sense that he doesn't succeed at the end.
He doesn't.
He doesn't succeed getting the 678 games because some of them are too expensive or whatnot, and he can't find them. But
that's another thing that I love about this documentary. He wasn't successful.
That is very true, because it kind of would have been hammy, I guess, if he succeeded.
Yeah, it's like, I love that. I love because you can still make a documentary even if you don't succeed in what you're aiming for.
Yeah.
And I love that because it kind of it's real life. Like, there's certain film collections that I've been trying to get for the longest time, and I can't get them because, first of all, I'm not going to pay these outrageous prices for some of them, and I'm like, no, I'm not going to pay that. I'll wait until it gets cheaper. But like the Woody Allen collection, I still this guy is freaking prolific director. He's been making a movie since 1976. Every year. One movie. He writes and directs one movie every year since Annie Hall came out.
Goddamn.
So he has close to about 50 movies in his collection. I own about 48. I'm missing 2. Because they're ridiculously expensive. I'm not going to buy it.
Yeah.
And honestly, ever since I found out about his behavior, I don't buy them firsthand.
Yeah.
I buy them secondhand because I refuse to endorse him or pay anything towards him.
Like, so going back, so at the end of the movie, like when he officially obtains stadium events, when he buys it off that guy, which that guy looked like a sweetheart.
Dude, he looked like such a gentle soul.
Like, he really did. That. By the way, when they show his house at the end, I was like, holy shit.
I know. I thought he was going to the guy in Miami. I was like, damn.
Dude, when like they show his house, I was like, this makes total sense why he has basically a man cave at the bottom of, like, on his basement. The guy's rich. Of course he can afford all this shit.
And 2 copies of Stadium.
Yeah, and 2 copies of Stadium, both in a box. One of them's not even opened, which is incredible to think. But I found it. I understand that he gets emotional because it's like an end to his journey finally. But like, I was like, damn, you're getting this emotional over a game, like,
dude. But all right, so there's certain. I think that's why the documentary points out the whole thing with his dad. This is kind of an acceptance thing.
Yeah, probably.
And also, you got to understand, this guy, he's like your everyday person. He has his anxieties, he has his goals, and he doesn't have outrageous goals. He has goals in his life that are real. He wants to do things with his life that are real.
Hey,
have a job that you enjoy and make enough money, but you're not in love with your job. He just enjoys what he does because it makes the money that he needs, but it's not going to kill him, But he's able to luxuriously purchase all these games for this documentary.
He is literally able to tell a person, I own the entire North American official NES library.
Yeah. And it's the same reason, like, I bought the TARDIS. Why? Some people ask me, they're like, why the hell would you buy that? And I was like, because it's fucking awesome. Like, it's just so cool to have. And it's the same thing with all my other collectibles that I own. It's because I love them. I love that. And it's not that, I want to show it off. No, I love showing it to people because I want other people to see how awesome this stuff is. It's not a matter of like showing it off or anything, which sometimes it comes off like that for other people as well, and collectors, because they want to show their stuff. Like he does on the display case and everything. Yeah, it comes off very show-off-ish, but it's not about that. It's about showing people that connection that you had with it and hoping that they find a connection similar to that. And that's what this documentary does. It connects with our everyday thing, our everyday sensibility, where we could actually connect to a fandom. In this case is Nintendo for him. That's his fandom. That's his Star Wars. That's his Lord of the Rings.
He also does collect Star Wars stuff. You see that?
Well, yeah.
In the documentary.
Which I bet you enjoyed the hell out of that.
Yeah, well, I love stuff, but at the same time, like that's just so much money, dude. Like, I guess I play games, so like I just collect games in the sense of like I buy them to like play them, you know. I tried to get into collecting like not only NES but like SNES and all stuff, and I stopped because it's a really expensive hobby, dude. On top of that, the market for here down in Miami is trash.
Yeah, and then you can't trust things that are online and stuff.
You can, but like for the most part, people are asking for outrageous prices, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, to give you an example, my all-time favorite game is a game called Chrono Trigger. It's for the Super Nintendo, right? I own a Japanese version of the game, complete, in the box with the manual and the cart. It's in pristine condition. I asked it for my dad once for my birthday like 5 years ago. It was $28. I got it on eBay.
Jesus.
Okay. Now, if you want Chrono Trigger, the American version, just the cart, it's like $90-something, $100.
Yeah, I believe it.
Because they didn't print as many here in America. So the cart here is way more rare than the Japanese one is.
But I mean, that's the whole thing. That's the whole thing about collectibles. You're going to pay through the roof, but also you have an investment.
Yeah.
It's something that's not going to depreciate.
True.
So that TARDIS, I could turn around and sell it for what I bought, if not more.
True.
Everything that I own, I could sell and make more money or equal to what I paid for. With the exception of my DVDs, obviously.
Yeah.
But honestly, all my other collectibles, I could turn them around and make a profit.
Yeah, so, I could do the same thing with my games, yeah.
So, I mean, that's the whole point of collectibles, though. It's that personal connection. And this documentary does a great job of showing that to people that might not be collectors themselves. And I think that's kind of that appreciation that I had for this documentary when I first saw it.
I enjoyed the sequence when they made that guy look like a total douche nozzle, but he wasn't. And
he was just play acting. That was fucking great.
And he's like, make me look like a villain. I'm like, this is amazing. And then they have that part where like they screenshot, like they like stop it, and he's like looking at them from the back. Like it was really funny. I was like, I really enjoyed that part.
That was fucking great because that's let's be real, that's how people are.
Dude, I'd be doing the same thing. I'd be like, what the hell are these people doing, man?
Yeah.
But yeah, I enjoyed it. I definitely, and it's a fun change of pace. I'm gonna kill my dogs. It's a fun change of pace, and it's also fun to talk video game stuff with you because you're not part of that world, even though you had an NES.
I did.
You did have an NES.
It was from my cousin. Ironically,
it was David's.
Yeah.
Really?
That was David's.
It was a hand-me-down, or he just gave
it was a hand-me-down. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because I remember you coming over to our grandma's house, and like you were playing like the original like Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah, that was all from him, man. That was all from him. The only other game that I played before Xbox was, and that was the first Xbox, mind you, was with you. What the hell's that thing called?
Nah, bro. You had an N64. You played a bunch of wrestling games. And
yeah, but I started playing it because of you.
But you had your own, and you also, I remember you being obsessed with Ocarina of Time.
Yes, I still own that actually.
That I remember I bought that game because of you.
Yeah, because that game was freaking amazing.
Yeah. But yeah, so I love video games. I think it's a great hobby. It's a great way to escape reality.
It's beautiful. They really are beautiful. The thing is, though, is that I'm that obsessive prick that if I play a video game, I'm gonna play it every which way. And that's why when you got me obsessed with BioShock, I was like, "Fuck you, Brandon. Fuck you so hard."
BioShock is an amazing game.
Not BioShock. Mass Effect.
Mass Effect is an incredible game too.
Dude, it is, and that's the problem. So many different ways that you could play that
Very
game, and I
true.
put so many hours into that game.
I bet.
So yeah, instead of video games, I watch movies now.
Yeah, I know. We all have our poison, I guess you could call it at the end of the day, right?
Yeah, because I prefer all these different worlds that I could get into rather than just sitting and enjoying one world that intensely. Because then I get obsessed with it, and that's never a good thing.
Nice. So I give this documentary like a 7.58.
I give it an 8.5.
Nice.
Straight up.
Nice.
Yeah. I fucking loved it.
We both enjoyed it. Stay tuned after this quick little break when we're come at you, not live, with the final segment of our show, the individual reviews.
Never live.
Never. How dare you.
As the songs of awakening rang through, the world was created. The silence was broken.
Middle-earth, with its rolling hills, broken mountains, flowing rivers, and beautiful forest, was created.
Cellar Door is a journey into the mythology, the mystery, and the beauty of Middle-earth. Sit back
Close your eyes
and imagine.
All right, guys, welcome back for the final segment of our show.
That was the first time that you actually said it clear as day.
Shoe. The final segment of our shoe, the individual reviews never live. I'm going to be going first this week. So, another thing that I might get fucking flack over, and that is, the other day when I reviewed on our show a couple episodes ago, when I reviewed A Silent Voice, there was another movie that I saw, anime film that I saw on Netflix that I had never had the chance of to watch. So I was like, oh, perfect. So that movie is Lupin the Third, The Castle of Cagliostro. Which,
no idea what that is.
Okay. It's actually Miyazaki's first film.
Oh.
Hayao Miyazaki. This is before... so he did this film, then he did Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind, and then he co-founded Studio Ghibli, and so forth. Yeah. So, Lupin the Third is based off an anime, an actual series called, of course, Lupin the Third, where it chronicles basically the adventures of the Lupin, who is the grandchild of Arsène Lupin, and he's basically a thief.
Who's Arsène Lupin?
So, wait a second. I'm not. The reason I'm saying that is because I'm not sure if that's an actual person that maybe this creator was like, I'm gonna, make a fictional character after this real person. So, Arsène Lupin the Third.
I think he's a fictional gentleman thief, master of disguise.
Lupin is the grandson of Maurice Leblanc's gentleman thief, Arsène Lupin. So it is actually another character.
Yeah.
So he's a thief, and what was that?
Yes.
Yeah, he's a thief, and he has two friends, or three technically, if you want to call it. He has Goemon, which is this like samurai, really like stoic samurai guy, and then he has what's the other? Jigen, which is this guy that has like this hat that like covers his eyes, and he uses guns and all that stuff. And then they have the femme fatale, which is Fujiko, but she's not really with their group.
Femme fatale, wow.
And she kind of comes in and out and stuff like that. Honestly, so I know what Lupin is because I like anime, and Lupin is one of those animes that's like, it's a classic, right?
I've never even heard of it.
Yeah, but you're not into anime, which is fine. So I have never seen anything Lupin, not any of the movies. Of course, I've heard of Castle Cagliostro. Honestly, after watching this movie, I kind of want to watch Lupin. The Castle of Cagliostro is fucking awesome. It is so much fun, dude. The movie begins with Lupin and Jigen basically running out of this place and of the Monte Carlo casino with like just a bunch of fucking money. And they get in the car and then Lupin proceeds to figure out that all the money is fake. So they just start throwing it out the windows of the car. They're like, fuck it. And then this girl comes like driving like,
make it rain.
Like just super like fast in her car, and she's being chased by another car with like a bunch of guys with guns on it. And then Lupin and Jigen start like going after her, and they find out that she's a princess. And that she's about to marry this like really horrible man called the Count of Cagliostro. And it's basically their adventure to stop the marriage and basically thwart the Count because he's a piece of shit. It's basically James Bond in anime form.
Okay.
And it's awesome.
That's what I was thinking when
awesome.
Yeah.
It's so much fun. It's stupid. The animation is gorgeous. So this movie came out in 1979, December 15th.
Jesus.
Yes. The animation is gorgeous. The music goes so well. Like, it's just a fun movie. Like, there's that one point where, like, Jigen and Lupin go and they try to infiltrate the castle through, like, this moat. And Lupin gets stuck in this waterfall, and he tries to start swimming up the waterfall. And it's just really, like, stupid and childish, but it's so funny. Like, him just trying to swim and the waterfall's, like, not having it and just pushing him down. It's a ton of fun. Yeah, it's honestly just coming from never watching Lupin. I was like, wow, this is so much fun, and I definitely want to watch the series. I'm pretty sure the series is going to be different, of course, because a movie's a movie. The first, so Lupin is, there's like parts to it. There's like Lupin Part 1. They're up to Part 5 as of like 5 years ago. Or no, it's not 5 years ago, like a year ago, sorry. And the first part came out in like 1971.
Jesus.
So the animation is going to be really dated because, of course, a show doesn't have the same budget as a movie, so the animation is going to dip in quality. But yeah, I want more of these characters. Like, Lupin is he's exactly like James Bond, like a straight womanizer, dude. Like, my man just sees a woman and he's like instantly like googly-eyed over her and just like falls in love with anybody. Yeah. It's just, oh yeah, and then like he has like his arch nemesis, which is like which is Chief Inspector Koichi Zenigata, which is basically a police officer that's constantly trying to catch Lupin but never succeeds. And they have like this like rivalry, but they respect each other kind of thing going on. Honestly, it's a really fun time. It's streaming on Netflix. It's an hour and a half. Awesome. It's quick, like an hour and 40 minutes. Check it out.
That's
like,
not bad.
Yeah, the animation is really, really cool. And honestly, if you're a fan of Miyazaki, this is his first feature-length film. He wrote and directed this movie.
Oh wow!
So if you're a fan of his and you want to know where he started, because he had done animation before, but this was the first time that he dove into like movies. Definitely check this movie out. I've actually never seen Nausicaa. I have to check on Nausicaa. I've seen his other stuff.
Nausicaa is good. It's just very slow.
Yeah, I know. I know Nausicaa's like save the planet kind of thing going on.
Yeah, it's very hippie dippy.
Yeah, it's very hippie stuff. But this movie was honestly a really, really awesome time. The voice acting is awesome. The animation is incredible. The music, everything about it. I had a really, really good time. I literally don't have anything bad to say. Like, I was so pleasantly surprised. I thought I was going to enjoy it, but not to the degree that I enjoyed it. So I'm definitely going to give it like a 9. I don't think it deserves like the coveted 10, but
nice.
Yeah, like it was a really fun time, and I strongly recommend, like, a silent voice is like if you want something like really serious and drama and stuff like that, and kind of like it tugs at your heartstrings. And if you want like just a fun adventure, like watch Lupin the Third, The Castle of Cagliostro, and I don't think you'll be pleasantly surprised by it. So
nice.
So yeah,
sounds good.
Yeah.
I'll be adding it to my list for sure.
Yeah, it's awesome
because I've been wanting to, and I really should. Neon Genesis is on there now, and I'm like, ooh.
Yeah, that's a story for another day.
So, anyways,
I
all right.
don't even know if you've heard about like what the hell's going on with that, but I'll tell you off air.
Okay.
Yeah, it's this whole fucking like hullabaloo with it. But yeah, go on.
Oh Jesus! All right. So another thing that's streaming on Netflix this week. Actually, hold on a sec. We didn't actually mention where the other one was streaming on. That one is streaming on Amazon Prime.
Which one?
The first documentary.
Oh yeah. I thought you meant mine. I was like, didn't I say it was on Netflix?
No.
Okay, yeah. Nintendoquest is on Amazon Prime.
Yes, it's on Amazon Prime, so you can check it out on there.
Mm-hmm.
And then on Netflix, this other documentary, another documentary actually, it's now I'll give you this. Documentaries were never my wheelhouse. So because of this show and the YouTube show before, I've turned around completely on documentaries, and I've started to really enjoy some really awesome ones. And we're actually going to enjoy one together, all of us, as my pick for next week. And we'll go into that later on. But the movie that I want to review is Memorygames. This is a documentary about these people around the world that are learning to tap in to the potential of the human mind. And they have national competitions that are memory-based competition. So, meaning, for example, this one woman from Mongolia actually has the reigning title for a certain section in the competition. And one of the coolest things is like they read off like a series of 200 numbers.
Okay.
And verbally read off these numbers. You have no pen, you have nothing to write. You have literally a counter in front of you, and that's it. And you have to write down when they hand you the piece of paper, anywhere between 5 minutes later or an hour later, depending on the competition, the full number sequence or as far as you could go.
Goddamn.
So that's one of the competitions. The other one is you have to read off a whole series of numbers on a piece of paper. The person takes away the paper, and then you have to transcribe what you remember. But again, the competition is 5 minutes later or an hour later.
Okay.
To make it even more difficult. So another one of the competitions, which is I think is one of the most fascinating ones, is the quick card. So they give you a deck of cards in a particular order, and you have to recreate that deck of cards with only viewing it for a certain amount of seconds.
Okay.
So you have to remember how the whole series of cards are actually in order. So this documentary goes into these four people and how they are able to do these amazing achievements. Because honestly, these achievements are really incredible. And the fact is that some of these things that people are trying to remember, it's really impossible to. And you're like, how the hell do they remember that? I don't remember what I did yesterday, much less like a 52 card deck or 20 52 card decks. How do they do this? And this documentary actually goes into how they do that. It's actually an old technique from Greek times where they build a memory temple. And it sounds cheesy, it sounds stupid, it sounds ridiculous. But this memory temple is full of items that they could remember easily. And then they turn those items into either something that they want to memorize or the order of something. So like instead of doing a whole sequence of numbers, they turn it into 3 letters or 4 letters. And from those 4 letters, they find an animal or a thing that they could recall easily. Like T-Rex is TR, TRRX or something like that. So those 4 letters represent 4 numbers in a sequence or 8 numbers in a sequence. And they're able to remember those 4 digits by remembering T-Rex and an image of a T-Rex. So they're building pile upon pile in their memory, so they could easily associate 8 numbers with 4 letters and 1 image. That's
what the
fucking
fuck?
incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah. So these guys, like these guys and girls, because women, they do these amazing tricks with their mind and able to recall these things. This woman from Mongolia, she holds the competition for the cards actually. At one point in the documentary, and she's able to look through a full deck of cards in like 14 seconds.
What?
And then she's 100% recall of that order of the deck of 52 cards.
That's insane.
It's incredible. It's incredible. But the way that she goes about it and she talks about it and all that stuff, it's really awesome. The documentary is very informative and it's entertaining as hell because it's all about these 4 people from all across the world and how they're so different and why they do the memory games. There's actually one guy from Miami, actually, ironically enough.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
It's this French dude that his parents migrated to Miami, and he was raised and born in Miami. And he was always kind of this nerdy kid, this very lanky kid and all that stuff. And then he started doing like CrossFit and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And he wanted to do the same thing that he was doing to his body, to his mind, because his mom was suffering, his grandmother was suffering from Alzheimer's. And he's like, I don't want my mind to go like that. So he wants to build his mind. And by doing these memory tricks, he came across like a video or something. And by learning that, he wanted to learn more about doing the memory games and all that stuff. And then he became a national champion at it. And then there's another one from Germany that he has a progressive disease where he's not able to walk. His muscles are completely atrophy. And he's in this competition because he loves like memory. That's one of the things that he holds on to is his memories. And it's just incredible. Like there's all these 4 completely different personalities come forward.
Yeah.
And then there's another one that's just completely like, he's like the sweetest person in the world. He's just like this very down to earth, mellow, humble as hell person. And then you have the Mongolian woman that migrated to Sweden, and then from Sweden migrated to Texas.
Mm-hmm.
And she's just this very down-to-earth person that is trying to help her community. So she does these memory coaching and stuff like that for students. And she travels to Mongolia as well and helps with the memory competitions there. She's just this very like humble person and very outgoing personality-wise and all that, and brings out her community side. And just this kind of memory techniques and stuff like that, it's worldwide, so it's all over the place, and it just kind of has this sense of community that's very fascinating. And I really enjoyed it, honestly. It's informative, you get into it, and it's entertaining. More importantly, it'll keep you on your feet. You're like, oh wow, that's cool, that's awesome. How the hell did he do that? It's like watching a magician do a magic trick, you know? It's like, wow, that's so cool, you know?
Yeah. So this is streaming where?
On Netflix.
Netflix, okay.
And I give this one a 7 out of 10. It's very good, and I think it's less than 2 hours, a little bit less than 2 hours.
Okay.
So it's not a long documentary, and it's well worth your time.
Nice. All right, guys. So, Lewis, what is the movie for next week again? Old Boy?
No. We are going to be doing a documentary that's streaming on Amazon Prime.
Okay.
And you ready?
Mm-hmm.
It is called Resurrect Dead.
I've heard of this.
The story of the Toynbee tiles.
Oh, so, I love I've seen this movie and I completely forgot.
Yeah, Resurrect Dead, the mystery of the Toynbee tiles. This is a fascinating documentary that is just, it's really good. And it's another one that I introduced to Brandon already.
Yeah.
So both of us have seen it. I own it and I've seen it a bunch of times already, but William has not. And I think he will enjoy this one.
Awesome. All right, guys. So, of course, if you enjoy our show, listen to our other stuff and also visit manbitesfilm.com, diverselygeek.org. And now you can find our lovely friend John on our podcast services. He's in our family now, which is
That's right.
Narcotic Casserole. You can also find him on YouTube. But yeah, so thank you, Lewis.
Thank you, Brandon.
I'm Brandon, and we will see you guys on the next episode of Man Bites Film.
Alright. Woohoo! Resurrect dead!
Welcome to an exploration of sight and mind, a travel through the world of films and the artists that bring you these masterpieces. Do you love films, directors, actors, cinematographers, editors, composers, or any of the hundreds of artists that bring you these feats of art? I am Luislacau, your host into the world of films, your guide to Man Bites Retro.